Now we're live.
We're
live.
Buy me a Coke.
How are you guys doing today? I hope we already got folks in the chat. Gary Mullane from Ireland is here. How you doing, man? And Mr. Blue is here. Good to have you here. How are y'all this evening?
Good.
It was?
Yeah, I don't care.
It was a good weekend.
It was a good long weekend, right?
And it was also comfortable. It was not oppressively muggy this weekend.
I know. I am sorry for all of my friends who are in the Northwest who are dealing with all the heat and humidity and misery that we usually experience in summer. The fact that we did our 4th of July event and fireworks in our parking lot for the community, and it was 82 degrees on July the 4th. It was amazing. And you can kiss my rear end. I enjoyed it, and I'm sorry you guys.
You're a Georgia. You're supposed to say, kiss my grits.
No, I don't disrespect grits around here. So.
It was still exceedingly humid, though, because last night doing a few fireworks with Paul, I had to take a second shower for the day when I was done because the humidity was so much. I was just like dripping by the time.
Really? Because we went out on our deck because the neighbors next to us had out-of-town guests, and so they went and dropped a small fortune on private fireworks and lit them off. And so we just went on our deck, and we were like, this is actually a pretty good show right here.
Yeah, well, sitting in one place and doing nothing is different than running back and forth lighting fireworks for an hour and a half. So,
you know, I did a summer internship at Disney World. And I think that pretty much just ruined fireworks for me for the rest of my life, because now when I see fireworks displays, I'm like, I saw them every night in like 4 different directions for like an entire 3 months. So it's kind of like, meh, fireworks.
My favorites are watching the ones where they go off wrong. Either somebody like the truck, like the Orange Beach thing, where one of the trucks just actually caught on fire and blew up half the fireworks in like 30 seconds and all that kind of stuff. So fun. So that's always entertaining. But.
Chris is also a fan of people running into poles and accidentally falling. That is definitely physical comedy up his alley.
Oh yeah, probably like in the scene where the guy runs through the room on fire. You know, there's nothing funnier than that in any movie. You know, so
you're a big fan of Johnny Knoxville, aren't you?
No, not really. I just like Airplane and Police Squad and The Naked Gun. So. That's good. Oh, we got some more folks joining us here. Mr. Blue is here. Brett Bills is here. Good to have you. Dude Jude is here.
Hey, Jude.
Triple D Honey is here. Welcome.
Hey, honey, what's up?
Glad y'all are doing. So you had the day off. You had 2 days off. Actually, it felt like I had 2 days off almost. We didn't have any services last night. We were off today, so it was like. I felt like I had a weekend, and we got to hang out, do family stuff, and got some building done. Did you guys get any building done? What have y'all been doing? Let's go around and see what's up. Well, let's talk to the Canadian, because he doesn't know what our joy is about over the weekend.
Really?
They had
because we had Canada Day, and then we had to work today, and then we had 2 days off. So, it wasn't too bad.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's good. That's good. What's up, man?
Yeah, I mean, I had the option for taking Friday off. I just didn't bother.
Well,
we don't need brand placement there. Anyway, so
did somebody say brand placement?
No, here we go.
I don't think that's
the
right
your
for
endorsement
that.
deal.
No, that's just my bag of crackers that I sometimes, get hungry for. So, but.
Okay. Trust me, Kiss Pastor here knows all about the goldfish. Let me just tell you right now.
So as for what I did this weekend, I basically built some more of my my Hainer area. Nice. So I added on this next segment, which has like a nice staircase that I was working on.
Sweet. Oh yeah. With the angled arm things. That's amazing.
Yeah, I discovered that. Well, I guess when I was doing this, the earlier version of this, I discovered that.
Holy crap, that was you?
Yeah, I know, it's amazing, isn't it? But yeah, so I got I fused the corridor in, which you can kind of see there. It does come out for traveling because it's a fragile piece.
You just said out.
He said out. Here we go.
I said out. I said out.
No.
And then on the back, I've got.
You're still doing it.
Oh well. Why are all the Americans picking on me?
Hey, so Jeff, is the orange supposed to represent like holographic displays, or did you just like the color?
I just like the color. I think the trans orange goes really well with the gray.
Mm-hmm. It does. It clashes really well. The color combination there is key. So that's cool.
Yeah. So I mean, the blues I'll replace with trans orange once I can order some. They're not available on Bricks and Pieces anymore because they're too old. And on the corner, I was hoping they had a trans orange curve panel, which they don't. But I did discover that I think one of the Ghostbusters vehicle has in dark gray.
Yep.
So I might grab a couple of those in dark gray just to do that because that's the only other color that would really work.
That's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
So,
I love that you put them in upside down.
yeah. And I discovered that just resting them in upside down and then doing this connection with the headlight bricks is enough to hold them in place.
That's really cool, VW.
So, thanks.
Yeah.
So,
And you'll still be able to put a desk around it for monitors and stuff.
yeah, exactly. I was going to put some tables in there and stuff too, so that it would be visible. So, and I was trying to get like multiple views, multiple angles. So I've managed to get that as well. I'm not sure what's going to go down here yet, and I'm also thinking of running another staircase up this way and doing like a platform up here, like a deck where people can just stand on or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's either that or I continue it up and just do more trans yellow, like an office area or something like that with some more brick, some more trans yellow or trans orange. I'm not sure. So
Yeah.
And so, Jeff, you got to give us a grain of salt because we're coming down off of our 3-day weekend of snubbing our nose at the English colony or at the English. So you're like kissing cousins.
The queen. I mean the president.
Yeah, you're kissing cousins. So we're still just a little ornery towards the English.
It's only treason if you lose.
This is true.
that's okay. When we were celebrating Canada Day, we were celebrating burning down the White House. So don't worry about it.
Oh, he's not wrong.
The British did that, not
Too
Canadian.
soon,
Well,
bro.
we are the British, technically.
Technically. Kissing cousins.
Right.
Well, time to hit the old dusty trail. Alrighty.
I think Matthew really wants to talk about his building.
I think he might too. I'm not 100% though.
I think we'll let him wait though. He's watching hockey. He just
Well,
wants to put something
it took
interesting
me-
up.
The last time I tried to flip the camera around, I ended up like kicking myself out of the room. So I wanted to make sure I got the camera flipped before you went to me, so that if I had technical difficulties, I wouldn't drop out of the room. So
Hey, I'm not sure I should focus on you. I don't have the express written permission of National Hockey League to show your footage. So
now you're in trouble.
Nice. All right, let's go to Jeff. Other Jeff, how are you doing, man? What you up to? You got bricks going on. What's up?
I got bricks going on. So I had a wonderful week with my mother and my dad, and Dad and I came to a lot of conclusions and just kind of buried the hatchet about a lot of things, which is really weird. So I'm thankful for that.
That's amazing.
So I bought him $200 worth of Lego, and then he was like, well, what do you want? And I was like, no, I've been thinking about the Razor Crest. And then he bought me the Razor Crest.
Wow.
So we had a fun weekend of building and talking about, the business that I've got going on. And really just it was a pleasant time all around. I'm really surprised. I was tired a lot. Like, holy crap, I was tired because I was constantly running around and like, you know how it is when your parents visit and you haven't seen them for a while. You got to make sure that the trip is good and all that stuff. So I was doing that. We did get bored and we built a little widget, like a little flying thingamajig. Like maybe it'd be like a worker or something like that, like a little, inspecting something. I don't know, but it was fun. So, and I've got about 3 more pictures I need to take tonight for Brick Rodeo, and I need to get a picture from Julian for Brick Rodeo. And yeah,
2 pictures. 2 pictures.
2 pictures. Yep. I gotta put them up on the site. And tomorrow I'm getting ready to go on an airplane ride to see Julian.
Yay, that's cool.
So, yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
So y'all are coming to Atlanta, is that correct?
Yeah, we'll be there.
All right.
Or South Atlanta.
South Atlanta. Yeah. So, and I think that we're going to meet at the Brick Company. So if you guys want to come down and hang out, that'd be great.
Would be great.
I don't think we should call it Atlanta. It's Noonan. It's an hour. It's an hour from Atlanta.
It's not an hour from Atlanta. It's like maybe 20 minutes from Atlanta.
Atlanta is an hour and a half from Atlanta. So
Well, that's
it is.
true. I mean, that's true.
I literally have no point of reference. I just now looked at a map like an hour ago to see like where this was and where I'm going. And I went, oh, it's a 4-hour car ride. This will be great. So,
Well, that's why the other day I was asking you, why are you flying to Florida to drive to it? You know, we have an airport here.
And literally, the airport is the closest thing to Atlanta Brick Company.
Yeah. It's like 15 minutes from Atlanta Brick Company.
well, I wanted to see Julian. I wanted to meet his family. And, he and I are going to be spending a lot of time together this month. So I just want to make sure that we can survive a 4-hour car ride without one of us committing murder. So,
This is a good, it's a good dry run. Right, Julian?
You'll know whether you're ready to marry Julian by the end of the 4-hour car
Yeah.
ride.
this is true. But,
I want film footage just like you guys were like planes, trains, and automobiles. You know what I'm saying?
I got my hand between these two cushions.
Those are pillows.
I think you guys should, if your phones can power or you guys get good reception, you should live stream that whole drive.
That's a possibility. I was requested to do a little bit of videography while I'm there, so I guess that's going to happen. But yeah, if just visit if you can. I know that some of you guys are going to be able to make it, and I'm really looking forward to meeting a lot of you in person and just having a good time, having a nice lunch with y'all, and doing what we do only in person.
It'd be cool. I would like to be able to get away. I just don't think I can. I got to leave for camp, and I got an event on campus that day. So I wish I could.
I wish you could too, but you did get my care package, right?
I did got your care package.
Yep. So Chris got some goodies in the mail. We're not going to talk about one of those goodies, but he got a space pack in the mail for me. So there you go.
Well, I can tell you, Jeff and Julian, I would, unless something drastic happens at work Wednesday morning that prevents me from leaving on time, I will be there. I do need to be back in my side of the world by 4:30, so I might not. I don't know how long I can stay, depending on what time you guys get there. But I will at least get to spend a little time with you guys for sure.
Okay, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know that my plan is to stay there for 2 hours at the max, and we'll see what happens.
The plan is to do whatever Jeff wants.
Just wait till he sees all the stuff in that 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 2 hours is going to go by in a heartbeat.
Yeah, no, this is, a lot of you guys know the real reason why I'm going, and this is a once in a lifetime, like, okay, go do it. And it's like you're doing the supermarket sweep, but in your favorite store, so like,
Yep.
I really just want to soak all this in.
It's like a candy store to a sugar addict.
Yeah.
Seriously, even if you just do a walkthrough with the store with your phone to take video, just to go back and look at it again, you'll thank me for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I will. I definitely will. I'm just I'm a little nervous. It's just going to be a long trip in that regard, and like, Julian and I have got to get up at almost the crack of noon, or almost the crack of dawn, the Tuesday or Wednesday morning, and then we've got to go pick up a car and everything else. Because I rented a Ford Escape for us because there's no way in hell I'm getting in his little car. So,
because that would be too much tons of fun in a little car like that.
That gas mileage would go right down the tubes. Is what would happen.
That is a little car.
Car would be going like this down the road with sparks.
Can I say something? If y'all rent a car and it is like, like a Geo Metro or stuff, then you need to start live streaming that, because that would be amazing.
Immediately, right?
When they pull up, we have to videotape it. It'll be like a clown car. We're like, how many people are in that vehicle?
And there's got to be the Benny Hill song going on in the background.
The car's gonna bounce a good 3 feet once we get out of it too, just because.
It's like
you saying,
yeah,
it's going to be like
pool
one
float
ton
coming out
fun.
from under the water.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what, though?
That's
Our
awesome.
bellies do not define us.
Our bellies do not define us.
Mine does. But
I think-
No, it doesn't.
Oh, also good news. We got corporate sponsorship.
For
So there's this company that does, how does one put this?
it trims the verge for gentlemen.
Yes, and trims areas for ladies as well. So it's Smooth My Balls. You can check them out and get some things to take care of some unwanted hair in places you don't need it.
So all jokes aside, that actually is our sponsor for real.
Yeah, it really is.
Check it out.
They literally were like, "Hey, welcome aboard." I got my email this morning, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna send you a bunch of stuff." I'm like, "All right."
I'm
So,
looking forward to getting my
I-
eyebrows done.
Product demonstrations are not necessary. Am I correct?
No, that's for the Patreon.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
And our
for fans only or whatever.
Hey,
but
do they sell discount? Because some people are only
Having
You
to
know,
trim one
We
end.
have new and used. What do you need, Chris?
I need a 50% off is what I need.
You should go twice as far, Chris.
Well, they'll let you cut the whole thing. You don't have to just stop at 50.
Chris, if you really do need their product, let me know, and I'll give you a 25% off discount code. All
I
right?
think that kind of deal connection is okay for me to miss. I think I'm okay, but I appreciate it.
All right, that's okay. I was just trying to help brother out, you know.
Without food, Mark.
Mark's like, I'm out. Yeah.
Well, good seeing y'all. Time to hit the old dusty trail.
As one of your patrons, Jeff, please don't make a video about that. Please.
Oh my
Well,
Let's see. Howie is here.
If we donate enough, we won't do this video.
Howie knows what's up. All right. So Bob Laveau is here. Thank you for joining us. And Howie's stuff is here. Axel Plate is here. I don't know if I mentioned you before. Good to have you here. All right. Maddie, what's going on here? Please bring some class back to the what we got going on.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Hi. So remember I told you that my cousins gave me like a lot of their Lego? Well, they came this weekend and I was very, very anxious about it. And they came up to see the Lego room and I was expecting questions like, hey, like, where's the Inquisitor? Like, where's my castle set? Like, where's this? Where's that? But no, they both said, we're happy that you're having more fun with the Lego than we would have. So I was like, woohoo.
Wow.
And then I said, okay, guys, like, you can pick out any set that you want to build up here. And I pointed to the Harry Potter, the flowers, the Friends set, and they picked the brick heads.
Yeah.
The one with Yoda, Baby Yoda, and
Mandalorian.
yeah.
Din Djarin.
Yeah, so I was surprised about that, but it worked out perfect because they each got to build one booklet. Yeah, so that was chill. And then they went to the bookstore yesterday. It was July 4th. We were at the picnic, and all of a sudden my uncle was like, we got to go to the bookstore. And they left to the bookstore, and they brought me back a little present. So that was
Oh, cool.
That's awesome. That was nice.
yeah, and the last thing, yeah, wink. The last thing is that apparently my uncle still really likes building Lego, and he has these huge Lego sets at his house, and he bought them so that him and his kids could build them, but they don't want to build them with him, so I got invited to go down to their house to build some Lego sets.
Nice.
Like, for example, the Iron Man mosaic. He bought, I think he bought
Mosaics are fun.
He bought 6 of them, I think, and he wants to do the giant murals, one for his office and one for home.
Oh, nice.
And then he bought like the Batmobile thing. I don't know. The other thing that I decided was that I needed to start using those Pick-a-Brick cup pieces because they're just sitting there. And I made this like boxy little thing. They're all 1x2.
Holy cow.
That's a lot of work.
It was all 1x2s, and then I'm looking at it now and I'm like, it's a little boxy and there could definitely be some more texture. So I'm going to sit here probably and take it apart, and then I'm going to redo it with a different idea that I have. That's the great thing about Lego, right? You can just build it up and then take it apart.
Absolutely.
Every building I build 3 times.
The one that is currently your profile picture.
Well, I mean, I just mean like I make a first draft and then I find out all the things I don't like and I redo it and then the third version is tweaking it, making it structurally sound and making final changes. So I'm on the
okay.
third. I'm on step 3 with this baby here, so it's almost done. But
So yeah, I guess that's it. So maybe I will build the second floor and the third floor, and then I will revamp it. No, I should just start with the first floor. That's too much work. Okay, cool. That's it. Thank you.
Cool. All right, Matt, we're looking at your building, and while you're looking at hockey, so
yeah, so this is an actual building in Birmingham, Alabama that I drove past by chance while looking for an ATM at Brick Fair, and I was like, holy cow, that's a gorgeous building. I want to take a picture of that. Maybe I'll build that. So here it is, 2.5, maybe 3 years later after that moment. And I had most of this roughed in, and for a long time I was waiting for our last year's bulk lug to arrive because I needed more of the dark green windows, which are pretty pricey on Bricklink. And so I was the one who, with my selection, picked the dark green window frames so I could, finish all this jazz. And so I got those parts, swapped them out, but I have to finish the very top of the roof. And so my plan today was to finish the building, but it's not finished. There's still more that has to go up here in the top. But I only rebuilt this like 3 times today, and that's one of the frustrating things sometimes about not being a digital builder but a real life builder is you build something and you're like, well, what would it look like if I brought this out 1 stud, and what would it look like if I raised this up 2 studs? And well, the only way to know is just build it and look at it. So but the fun thing here is, and Dana knows this especially, but I'm a nut for new pieces on Bricks and Pieces. And so when the Harry Potter wands became available in dark orange and dark brown, I ordered a bunch of them, and hey, they got used. So in this light nougat or medium nougat, I forget what they call it, I had a bunch of these 1x1 bricks with clips, and so I lined them all up and started snapping in. And I think that's something like 26 wands, which thankfully I bought like 30. And so I'm very pleased with this detail. So that part's mostly done. And then over on the other side, I was playing around and I wasn't happy with what I had up here at the top previously. So I ripped this out, and I wanted to use some of these bow pieces in alternating colors. But sometimes, you're like trying stuff and moving it around. And I had this all set back 1 stud, and I popped it out, moved it 1 stud further out. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a lot better. So sometimes it's funny how just a very small alteration of depth can change at least how I feel about it. So all this, from this point up, it's been rebuilt over the last 2-3 days. And I just need to get the very top finished, and this baby's going to be finished. So you can see the whole thing. I'll pan out, and it's loaded with detail, and we'll be taking it to Brick Fair, Virginia. So if any of you are coming to Brick Fair, you can see it with all the other buildings.
that's awesome. The textures are amazing. I mean, lots of techniques. I love it. That's really, really cool.
If I were to win any contest in town and train, I think this is my strongest candidate right here. So I'm pretty pleased with it, to be honest.
No campaigning, please. All right, thank you. No, dude, that's amazing. You deserve an award for that. That is incredibly cool.
The wands is something that I've wanted to do. Like, I've been saving every single wand that I've gotten from any Harry Potter minifigure just to do something like that.
Yeah,
that's sick.
It's very cool. Super neat. All right. Let's see. Bricksmith, what's going on with you, man?
Woo!
That was a very tired woo.
So I started. I'm going to Texas, but I'm in a plane. So I decided to take this beautiful mock that was my first entry into Peach Luck.
Nice.
The ball and joint challenge.
Yep. And then in pre-show, I built this.
Oh, yeah, you did it. All right.
Yeah, I told you I was going to do it. And as you can see, these walls are boop. Everything is, close enough. So I can take it, put it in a bag, and build it back without any worries. I still am allegedly supposed to do a shrink ray gun, but we'll see how I feel.
You should get one of those that Boone made some ray guns. You could
Nobody cares about Boone.
Okay.
Oh, don't do that.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
What?
He's I haven't heard Boone. Is he still off somewhere where his internet's not good? He was off a little bit, dodging the heat. I
think he'll be back to
All right,
normal
I'm off a
this
lot
week,
of
I
it,
think.
so it's okay.
Oh no, you got more? Go show me.
No. Nope.
So this is how you're teaching me to keep a show to an hour by
No, not at all, because that won't work.
But we're going to keep it to an hour anyway. All right, Mr. Sandlin, what's going on in your world, man?
I am gathering up some Rock Raiders.
Raiders.
Our good buddy Brian, and Rock Raiders associated pieces and parts and things.
Rock Raiders and Rock Raiders accessories.
Oh, that's awesome. Julian, I just picked up a Rock Raider set, the big flying ship thing.
Yes, it's in a box in transit to your house.
So yeah, our buddy Brian he had a list of things he's looking for, and I threw some in a bag. I think the character called Doc has one of my favorite non-specific torsos to use, and I can't find any of them anywhere, which means they're probably in
Everything.
Because it's a really great torso that has like some goggles and some pockets and some stuff on it, and probably it's my favorite Rock Raiders torso to use on pretty much anything. So sorry, Brian, I couldn't find that one for you, but I got 3 of the Rock Raiders characters in a bag and a big chrome drill.
Love the chrome drill.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Cool. Yeah, I restored a couple of Rock Raider sets not long ago, and it's so funny to build them because I can remember being all grumpy, like, what are these big old crappy pieces? And there are some, but it's still kind of fun to build in retrospect. Now it's pretty neat line. I like it. I'm glad the youngster is into putting them back together. He actually was able to confirm a theory that I had about the Rock Raiders Chief that you could only get in the little collectibles series that they had back in the day. He had a really great torso, and he had this chrome piping to a shoulder print, and then he came with a turquoise arm. And I'm like, if they'd have made that guy in a set, he would have had a chrome arm, and that actually was going to happen. But when they kind of cut the line, they just stick a turquoise arm on there. So he was going to have a chrome arm, which would have been really cool back in the day. So still a great figure, though, if you can find one. He's kind of rare, I think, nowadays. So, all right, Mr. Dana, what have you been building?
Well, as you can see, I have a guest here with me this evening.
Yeah.
Little Pikachu. So this was designed by Bricker Builds, and he is like 2,400 and some odd pieces.
Wowzers.
And so, I mean, he's a little over 1.5 feet tall. He's hollow. So if you knock on him, he's definitely hollow. And so I think I might have alluded to the fact that I was gluing this together. So I used acetone. I know Julian's having a little bit of a fit right now, so we're glad the camera's on me. But yeah, so I used. So yeah, he's been glued together with acetone using a little bottle like this with a nice little needle, 23 gauge needle to squirt out the acetone to glue the bricks together. But I ran into some things along the way doing that, and so I will share that knowledge with you. Because the acetone, I think at some point in time, if you've got 2 bricks on top of each other and the acetone melts, it may sometimes lift up just a little bit. as you're doing it. So there are definitely a couple areas where you can see that there's just a slight little slit in there. And over time, that causes everything to kind of move inward. So by the time I got up to the crown of the head, and there was supposed to be two 1x16 bricks that were put in here to create the stability to put the last couple of bricks on top to create the crown. And by the time I was getting to that point and putting those in, it was about a half a stud off.
Oh, really?
So it was not gonna that beam, those two beams were not gonna fit in there. So I wound up putting in a couple of 2x6 bricks to create a little bit of a bridge, but yet not having them meet because I knew that they would bump into each other. And as I started adding more pieces, I was able to shift and move things just enough to still make him flush and flat in the chrome piece like this. Because it started to make me think about that when you see the master builders or the build shops at the different like Discovery Land or Legoland, and you see them building things and you see like this lattice work inside the big structures, and you're thinking, well, why are they doing that? And it makes a lot more sense now, because what that does is it allows to keep everything lined up so that as you're bringing things together, you're still lined up. Because if there's all that give, and I mean, Lego naturally has a little bit of a tolerance. That's why the pieces are able to fit together next to each other. And when you start playing with that tolerance and they're off, when you start getting higher, that's why that structure inside keeps it rigid so that you're not having it sway in or slope in. So, but that all being said, if I wasn't gluing this together, it wouldn't have been a problem. It would have been perfect. It would have been fantastic. So don't let that deter you from going to Bricker Builds and looking at their builds. They've got great Star Wars helmets. They've got Thor's hammer. They're coming out with Cap's shield. They've got a couple of different Pokemon. The Star Wars helmets look fantastic. And I will throw a link into the chat if you want to go there. And then I also have a link if you want to save $5. I've got a code, actually.
If I didn't show the code for the thing that's sponsoring them, I better not show the one for you, because I don't want to be made to show theirs.
What?
I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, different code, different context. This is technically Lego related.
You just be glad we use what we're sponsored with.
Yeah, no. So Doc, no, this will not fly apart now if it's dropped. If anything, I would be more surprised to see if it cracked and fumbled and what would happen. I don't want to drop it to test it, but I did make it so that, because I know this is going to go to, I think this is going to wind up going to Brick Fair, Virginia for a display model. I did, however, make it so that the tail pops off for easy transport.
So now you say it's hollow. How structurally sound is it with it not glued? Is it pretty solid?
It's pretty solid. The only reason that I wound up getting it to glue it was because they knew that during shipping, all sorts of things can go wrong. So this was originally built before I rebuilt it and glued it, and it had gotten dropped. And so that's why they were like, oh, well, here's the perfect one to go ahead and glue back together, because it dropped and it fell apart. I mean, it was probably, I think I showed you guys the portion of the head and everything like that. So, I mean, like any model, Lego model, if you drop it, you're going to have pieces fall apart and it's going to break and stuff like that. But other than that, of the models I've seen that they've had, and I've picked them up, and they're solid. I mean, there's at least anywhere along the whole structure, it's at least 3 studs to 4 studs, or even 6 studs back to create the structure. So it's solid. I mean, even without the glue, it's very solid.
Cool. That's cool.
The other things I did this weekend, I finally stopped at the Lego store and picked up the Batmobile. Excellent. I know that Chris has talked about this. Boone's talked about this. I think even Jeffrey talked about this. Fantastic set. If you haven't gotten one, go get it. You'll thank us all later. I did, however, wanted to get the GWP, so I needed to get a couple extra bucks, and so I wound up grabbing a little Iron Man set that was 20% off. I guess it's getting ready to be, retired, so I figured, why not grab that as well.
Oh, yeah.
And then today, because it seems like if I'm going to buy Lego and I'm going to have a Lego thing, it's going to be like all of it in a couple of days. I stopped at Walmart, and the road plates have been marked down to $16.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's
normal
been like that
20.
for a while.
Yeah, now they're down to 16. Well, I hadn't seen these at Walmart. I only ever saw them at Target.
Oh, okay.
But now I found them at Walmart and they marked them down to 16. So grab those while you can.
Oh, Dana, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I finally got a tuk-tuk.
A what?
The
A
tuk-tuk.
nip tuck?
Is this talking
No.
about your advertising sponsor again?
No, this is talking about that creator set that's the tuk-tuk that nobody can find.
Oh, the little car, the little
Yeah.
the rickshaw,
Yeah.
the motorized rickshaw. Yes.
Yeah. That's all I had. It's already up in its position of honor, but I just thought I'd share. Sorry.
Nice.
I just remembered.
I
Because-
missed out on getting one of those by like 30 minutes.
Oh,
Last time they had them at the Sugarloaf store.
that
Whereas
sucks.
I'm gonna go do a thing. Love ya.
Why is it?
Oh,
Why is
Hey, is Brick Blaze doing his thing tonight?
Yep.
All right, he's at 9. That's right. I'll be there.
I'll see y'all then.
why
Yeah.
is the tuk tuk like a surprise bestseller? Any ideas?
That's a good question.
I have a theory about the Tuk Tuk being a surprise bestseller. Is it okay if I
Drop
share the
some knowledge on us.
Well, it's also in the Asian market as well.
Right.
That's it. So I think maybe they cycled more of those sets over there, right? And then also, it's cute. I think it's really, really cute.
It is cute.
It's colorful, it's playful, it's it would jazz up anyone's shelf. And anybody who's gone to Asia, that's a highlight. You're like, oh, I'm gonna go to the Philippines or to Thailand. What do you gotta do? You gotta ride a tuk-tuk to your next beach destination. I don't know. Okay, that's it.
Also, can I state my theory on why I think the tuk-tuk was super important?
Sure.
Thanks. All right. So I think people finally caught up with the majesty that is Octopussy with Roger Moore. Because there's that awesome chase scene in Octopussy on tuk-tuks.
Do you know how uncomfortably weird it was to talk about that movie with your dad? And like, Dad, what movie you going to see, son? Yeah.
Was the movie really called Octopussy?
Yeah, it's about a bunch.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
We're on it. I'm gonna look this up right now.
And that was my first 007, Roger Moore. So I thought he was the best 007 until I saw all the others. And then I was like, he had the suave, rich, debonair part down, but the action, nah.
When he was still like 82 and trying to be cool, James Bond was not.
See, now knowing your childhood and that your parents probably didn't let you watch the ABC Sunday night movies, so you didn't get to see all the Roger or the Sean Connery Bond movies, you would have totally had a different opinion of James Bond, because that's where Dr. No was my first James Bond movie. Thunderball was the second and probably my favorite.
Thunderball, really?
Thunderball. Oh yeah, there's a great underwater fight scene. Oh
Yeah.
so freaking awesome. Oh yeah, the sharks. Yeah, the whole. Oh,
It was. Goldfinger was my first Bond film, and
I'm sorry, but if someone isn't, I don't know a whole lot about James Bond, but if we just lined up 3 of those titles right now, Thunderballs, Octopussy, and Goldfinger.
You need to go watch Austin Powers now, because then it will make all that much more fun.
All right.
Innuendo titles make so much more sense when you watch Austin Powers.
All right. Well,
Shall we start naming all the Bond girl by their name?
I mean, if we talked about Octopussy, we have to talk about Pussy Galore.
This is true.
And she was in Goldfinger, so.
You guys, this is like a little mind blowing at this very moment.
No, I mean, that's the reason. If you watch Austin Powers, all of the characters' names are innuendos because it's a nod to Ian Fleming's character names in all the James Bond movies of being innuendos.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
We
Ian
went back
Fleming,
and
who
watched-
also wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which is a kids movie, but you're like, what is it? He's called what? Anyway,
Exactly.
No, but you also got to remember George Miller, the guy that did March the Penguins, is also responsible for Mad Max. So, I mean,
Yeah.
He did March of the Penguins, really?
yeah, he really did. Oh, he did Happy Feet.
Happy feet.
Happy Feet. Wow.
Happy.
So I will say we I put Austin Powers on during COVID, thinking I had not seen it in like 15 years. It has not aged particularly well in the Me Too era. Like
No.
Austin Powers basically sexually harassed every female coworker in the movie. I'm just like,
Well, no, but again, I mean, again, it's playing off of the original Bond movie and the Bond movies in general. I mean,
yeah,
you know, we double standard the fact that James is a slut through the whole thing. I mean, he bangs everyone. I mean, in one movie, he will bang anywhere from 3 to 4 different women, and that was, you know, glorified.
What was the new James Bond movie that came out? Like probably, let's say, like when I was in college, maybe.
Probably Quantum of Solace, which is basically when they went back and kind of revamped it. Which I actually think that, and I know we're going on a James Bond tyrant here, but I think what's his name?
Dana. You just recommended the worst one of the Daniel Craig.
I know, but that was where they restarted it again. But I mean,
Casino Royale.
Casino Royale. I'm sorry, my bad.
It's okay.
But
Star
think
Wars is
Daniel
normally
Craig
my get to. You know, I'm venturing into waters I don't normally get to talk about.
Hey man, James Bond is my church, and welcome aboard. That's all I'm saying.
I think
My dad
Daniel
made me
Craig
watch that a lot.
I think he's an excellent Bond. I think he's revitalized a aging franchise.
I think he actually makes a more believable Bond than all the other Bonds before then. And I was a huge Pierce Brosnan advocate because I loved Remington Steele, and I thought that was just a great jump because it was kind of cheesy and whatnot. But then after it happened, I was like, well, that was a horrible idea.
Look, you know the Bond franchise hit a real problem when James Bond is windsurfing against an avalanche of ice and like everything else in the Arctic Ocean. You're like, okay, maybe we've gone too far.
No, I mean there was plenty of shark to jump at that point in time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Or what about Moonraker?
Hey, that is a fine piece of film.
I loved that as a 13-year-old or whatever.
I did too.
Yeah,
I mean, so did I. We all.
Hey, my dad did take me to that one, despite all the sleeping with women that were in the movies.
Well, you know what the professor's name in that one is? The girl that's the rocket scientist, right?
I forgot.
Dr. Goodhead.
Doctor who?
Dr. Goodhead.
Yes,
that
was her name.
Yes.
Oh wait, you said Goodhen. Like good hen.
H-E-A-D.
Head.
Head, as in your noggin or a male member.
And when my dad let me watch them,
They need someone to help them like make some names. Like, come on.
They had all the help they wanted.
Mark, I'm sorry, Mark. What did you say?
I said thanks for explaining that.
You're welcome.
Oh my god!
It was very late '60s Playboy Bunny atmosphere. The original James Bond.
I understand that whole concept. Like I know that about like but I didn't realize it was that bad.
Well, the thing is that when the names are said, they're said in all seriousness, and you just keep moving on. It's like we had to go to a specialist for Victoria one time, and his name was Dr. Dickensheets. And I'm going to be completely serious. I am being completely serious. And let me tell you, when Dr. Dickensheets walked into the room, and because Victoria and I were all ready to start just joking and laughing with this guy, because I'm like, how can you not be named Dickensheets and not have a sense of humor? But when this man walked in, he was probably one of the most serious and professional doctors that he commanded a presence that said, I am professional, I am knowledgeable, I am a great doctor. And he was.
Like not seeing any of these movies, I'm also imagining, because I'm hearing impaired, hearing that name said like maybe a little bit fast with a slight accent or something, you wouldn't catch it.
Correct.
Oh no, there's two of me. Oh no.
Well, I mean, you got to remember that the first Roger Moore movie was The Man with Golden Gun, and he goes to that pool, and the gal rises up, and he's like, "Oh, what's your name? Eat me."
Yeah.
All right.
I will say this, that there is something cheeky about British humor with sex. Like it's all wink, nod. Yes, we know we're being bad boys, but we're being bad boys. Like, and it's a different kind. It is a different, I would say, family than American joking about sexuality. Like, there's just something cheeky British about it. So.
Well, it's
not really a defense, but
Yeah.
like it is different than American.
It's kind of like the swear word situation. Like a "see you next Tuesday" is okay over there, but over here it's like the worst thing you could ever say to somebody. But over there, if you call someone A S S H O, other letters there, that's like
Or the C
Fight
word.
word.
They use that in a much different context than we do.
that's why I
And
said
then-
"see you next Tuesday."
Or bloody is a swear word.
Sorry, I'm a little slow on the uptake there. Thank you, Jeff.
Or bloody is a swear word. Like that's
Right.
bloody crazy, and
Yeah.
it's not here. So
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We have to keep that into mind as well. But that also, let's circle it all back into the tuk tuk. I guess that makes sense. Okay. So you talked to
Okay,
Chris
I
Nico.
love how you brought us full circle because it
Yeah.
started with
Let's bring it full circle. I could
It's a-
see that then.
In itself could have been a Bond girl name too. So, or a Bond,
my
or actually
God.
would have been like a transvestite Bond. Never mind.
Oh no!
Oh, that's another story. You just laid them all out.
Nip
but,
Tuck is its own TV show. But
well, wasn't the 007 Aston Martin like kind of plopped the same time that the tuk tuk was?
yes, about
Yeah.
the same within a year. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder.
By the
Lego
way,
conspiracy
Dear Lego, we appreciate you having one Bond car, but we would like a second. We would like the white Lotus Esprit that turns into a submarine.
Yes.
That needs to be a set.
Jeff, is the ground shaking at your house because Canada just scored? So I know the whole nation is celebrating right now. So
What? Oh, look at that.
I had that Lotus as a Matchbox car when I was a kid, and if I still had it in good condition, I'm probably sure it would be worth nothing. But I
Did
still
they
love
make
it.
a modern day Lotus like that?
Oh, they have done other modern. Yeah.
is that one Matchbox car really, really valuable now? It really is.
Kind of. If it's in the box, it's a 3-digit. But if it's out of the box and like played with, congratulations, you have some metal.
Yeah.
So, what's your address?
That one's not it. That was the one that came out recently.
Yeah.
They did a research and like they found like good enough reason to like put out Bond cars, and I was like, oh, okay. And then me being the sucker that I am, I was like, here's my money. All right.
Yeah, the Lotus would be a really good one to do in Lego anyway, because being an 80s very angular design, it would be pretty easy to build out of Lego.
Yeah. And just to have the wheels to be able to flip underneath and the fins to pop out,
It always
to pop up. If there was a
Well,
little
keep it-
button to drop some bombs out the back, some landmines.
Well, keep in mind that like my first experience with the car that turned into a submarine was in Mask with the shark. And when I saw that on Bond, I was like, wait a minute. So yeah, that'd be awesome.
And that was one of my first Bond movies with the car submarine, and I was like, this is awesome. It's almost
Of course
like
it was.
space.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, that Bond movie hit every quintessential note. Secret base, crazy technology, possible madman behind things.
But that Bond car that was released by Lego, it was probably supposed to come with the movie coming out, right? Because that car is back in the movie, the DB5.
Well, right, because they were doing the nod to Goldfinger, which is where we originally got the car from.
Yeah, so I'm curious. I would be curious to see them. Like, I would be surprised, I think, if they were to release another Bond related product.
Oh,
Because it's not really. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, because I got into the conversation with one of the Lego store managers this weekend about, like their particular store is going to do like triple what they normally do in a year. This year, they've had amazing growth on sales in general. So, I know we've talked about it sometimes. Is this bubble going to pop? Are the AFOLs that have been coming out or the increased Lego buying is going to dip off or something like that? But then I started, and I brought up the conversation about how, they're going after, non-normal Lego buyers to bring them in. And, I referenced the Saturn V rocket. There were people that were NASA fans coming in and saying, hey, I don't need a VIP card. I'm never going to come back because I just want this. And then they've done, 4 more space NASA sets.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I mean,
I can't see them not saying, hey, if the Aston Martin did well, maybe we should do another Bond car.
all I know is I'm going to say this, is that my father, who said that my hobbies at one point were for a derogatory slur word of people, bought the Empire State Building,
Cats?
the two
Cats.
Mando heads, and the two Minion sets this week, and me a Razor Crest. So
Right.
I'm just saying, if he turned, anyone else can.
He
It's not
bought
that
the
hard.
Minion sets.
He did. He loves them.
Interesting. I mean, I would never have guessed your dad would have wanted a Minion set.
I never
would have
guessed-
thought like a race car or like.
That's just it. You cannot have preconceived notions about what somebody's interests are and what they will buy from a Lego. I mean, in general, in Lego, whether it's Lego or something else, because there were people who I went to high school with who I would have never thought were interested in any of the things I was interested in. And then, 15, 20 years later, like, oh man, I loved that back then. I'm like, I would have never in a million years thought that. And it's changed my opinion of things, is that you can never assume what somebody's going to find an interest in.
Well, that's interesting, because that's what we just said about the times and how people are literally coming out of the closet with hobbies because it's more socially acceptable. Like this weekend, I went to the zoo with a group of people I didn't know, and I brought a minifigure for TikToks, and I started filming at the zoo, and someone was like, "Is that a banana minifigure?" And then they were like, "Oh my god, I love Lego." And then one of their friends was like, "You like Lego?" And he's like, "Yeah, like I have a whole bunch of it." Like, conversation, yeah. So I guess interesting.
Well, I have a story from this weekend about this. So I went to the Lego store, when the gift with purchase came out, whatever it was, Thursday or Friday. And then Thursday. So then Friday, my friend Chuck, who is not a Lego person, an adult about my age, works for a major bank. He's like, "Can we go to Open Skate?" And I was like, "Sure." So we go skate, and then he's like, "Hey, let's go to the mall and get a bite to eat." So we go to the mall, and he's like, "Yeah, let's walk around." So I was like, "Well, I wouldn't mind walking to the Lego store. They were supposed to get a shipment today. I just want to see if they got anything cool in the damaged or the new." So we walk in, and I said, "Hey, there's this Lego set over here it's a piano, and it actually is a functional piano. You can press the individual keys." And he says, "Well, does it make noise?" And I said, "I'm not sure." So I lifted up the plastic cover and reached in and touched it with my hand because, I work there. I know that's what they do. They show it to people. James comes over and he goes, "Oh, you want to see how this works?" And I said, "Well, Thomas, my husband, wants one, so I'll be buying it whenever it goes when there's double points." And so he brings out the battery pack, and he's showing like how you can turn it into a player piano, or you can do these different things. And after we left the store, my friend Chuck's, he's like, "Was he selling it to me or to you?" And I said, "Both." They're becoming aware that when people stroll in and they're over 18, they may not be buying for a little kid. They may be buying a set. And I had mentioned that my friend was a professional musician out of college and plays the piano. And so James starts saying, "Well, I play keyboard, I teach a little piano, and I play bass guitar." And so they were kind of, connecting over music things. But, I get the feeling that despite the fact that everyone on the show has been an adult fan of Lego for at least a couple of years, that Lego corporate is really waking up to the demographics. It's a huge demographic. They don't have to get every adult in America to buy a Lego set for themselves, but if only a fraction of those people do, it's a huge potential sales.
My brother-in-law, he always thought I was just kind of nerdy from what I could tell, because I was always going on about Lego and everything else. And like I'd always show him what I built, and then he'd always give me that, "Oh, that's cool, man." You know how it goes. But he saw that the piano came out, and so his father and I bought it together for him. He put it together, and he's like, "Hey, is the typewriter out yet?" So I'm just like, "Yes, he's hooked," So it's kind of cool. It's bringing a lot of people together that I never would have thought would ever happen in a million years. Yeah.
Well, even in that regards, all these new sets that are coming out, like the Seinfeld set that they just dropped, the red car thing, like my dad saw that and was like, "Oh, that's really, really cool." He already is kind of a Lego fan, but doesn't actually build really anymore. And then all these like theme TV sets, right? Like the Friends set, the apartments. Like when I went to the Lego store last time, there was some lady who bought the first Friends apartment, Central Perk, and then the new one that came out. And they were like, "Oh, hope you enjoy." She's like, "I'm a huge Friends fan." And then they were like, "Oh, look at these Friends keychains that we have." And she's like, "Oh my god!" Right? So,
So interesting,
Oh my god!
interesting statistic. I heard from the manager at the Lego store I was at, and she commented, because we were in this very similar conversation, and that the Central Perk set is the fastest selling set in Lego history. And the majority of the people that came into the store for her that were buying it were women in their 30s.
Wow.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
Because actually, Central Perk is one of the most common like incomplete or complete sets that I see on Goodwill online at the moment. You just see like a deconstructed Central Perk. It's like somebody probably, in their 30s built it and they had it for a minute and they're like, "Oh, done with it."
And you know what? That's what I'm kind of, we're hoping that this AFOL bubble will pop and that the Goodwill stores and everything will get flooded with Lego.
That's right.
I think it will happen, like, honestly, because now the pandemic is over. I think we could expect to see that our thrift stores will have a little bit more Lego.
But that's the question. Is it going to happen or not? I mean, I'm sure it's going to happen in general because it always happens. But will these AFOLs that have been created due to the pandemic, is it a flash in the pan for them? Or are they going to become and realize that, hey, this is a lot of fun and I'm going to keep doing it?
But I think I could argue that I think it's kind of a strong community. It's from what I've been seeing on TikTok. Like the number of AFOL TikTokers who just started the hobby because of the pandemic, myself included, is pretty insane. like you're like, what? And they started it super intensely, like even more intense than my situation. Like they're buying.
That was another part of the conversation, is that the over 20 somethings, that anybody over 20 years old who is coming in buying Lego, they're not buying the Ninjago sets, the Minecraft sets, the Marvel sets. They're buying the $350 up sets. And that seems to be the trend. It's not going in and getting just a bunch of the smaller sets. They're going in and buying all the big sets.
Yeah, they're buying, like, there's one new Lego TikToker and they bought like what was it? The Cantina, the Millennium Falcon, the Diagon Alley, the UCS Hogwarts, and those were their first like 10 sets. These sets that were.
Yeah, they're not starting out small. I mean, if they're going in, they're going in big, which is again weird and strange and cool, but still strange.
Well, when I got back into adult as Lego, I got in because they made the UCS Star Destroyer and the UCS Death Star 2, and if I was going to buy Lego, I wanted something that was enormous. So I get it. I mean, that's what drew me.
Yeah.
In my I don't know, 30s, early 40s, and I was like, I want that Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
It's big. It's impressive.
And it's interesting because, like, and I think about when I got back in, and granted it was a little bit because of Star Wars, a little because of the Lego movie, but it really re-sparked my interest to the sets that I didn't get when I was a kid. So I was able to go back and get those sets now, having the income to get them. But it seems like, I don't really see the secondary market for old sets going too crazy. It's not like sets are older sets are going for like triple what they used to be going to. They're still going for a certain amount, but it's the new sets that are going for crazy aftermarket money.
Oh, I don't understand that though, because I just don't get it. Like, what? The flower set, you can't find it anywhere. But if you look on a couple days ago, I saw it on Amazon. It was going for like $68, $18 above the price that you could buy it at the actual store.
Well, I mean, even at Christmas time, people were buying the Cantina, the Razor Crest, and the Millennium Falcon on the secondary market for sometimes double what you could get them in the store, just because they weren't available in the store.
Right, that's crazy. That's the scalper business.
But yeah, that is the scalper market, and that's really taken a chunk into the hobby in general. But it's still bizarre that people are willing to spend that instead of just waiting for Lego to make more sense. I mean, they're still available. You just got to wait a little while.
So I watch these toy hunters on YouTube, or used to religiously, and they got into into toy hunting into Lego recently, and they're so used to going to stores to look for an action figure that they can't find or whatever, and then they start going to the Lego store, and they're like, oh man, it's no hunting at all we do is just point at something, then we buy it, and it's like, yeah. But then I also come to find out that they're reselling them for outrageous prices because other people are doing the same thing. It's just kind of BS. So,
Yeah.
Well, there's the whole, back about 10 years ago, everybody's like, invest in Lego, not gold. It's going to be better. And trends are that it kind of is, but that bubble probably will pop at some point. I don't know when.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And they can't do that.
I hate to be a bummer, but I have to jump onto Jason's stream.
Yeah, I'm about to
So
end.
I have to go. But that was a great conversation. Thanks, guys, for the banter.
Yes, after we stop talking about Bond girls and innuendo.
Yeah, what the heck, both of you?
Don't forget about pubic hair shaving.
And she's gone. It's so funny, and I should have asked this. Maybe I'll save it, but I'm going to still bring it up. Is it the millennial in Maddie that makes those things shocking?
I don't know. I'm a millennial. That stuff doesn't bother me.
Well,
You're also male.
Well, that's just, because my wife thinks the Bond girl names are hysterical.
Yeah, Emily gets offended at the Bond girl names too, though. So who knows?
So I don't know if it's just a millennial female thing, because I know Maddie got a little weird with us when we were talking about Italians talking with their hands, and so which I still can't understand why that's offensive. But I don't know,
that happens though.
Yeah,
Thomas and I had a big discussion about that after that show.
and
I think it's the no offending anybody, desire. I think. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, Italians will make fun of other Italians who can't. How do you frustrate an Italian? You have him sit on his hands. He'll never speak. Stereotypes happen for a reason because
there are negative stereotypes like
there are.
Group A is lazy. That's a negative stereotype.
Yeah,
there
right.
actually are there are group tendencies. Italians scientifically do talk with their hands more. That's a group tendency. Not every Italian does, but as a group, Italians do.
Yeah.
And if every group tendency is equated with the stereotype, then literally it's going to be impossible to make any jokes about anybody. I'm serious. You can't make a joke. I can make jokes about me being a Yankee and not liking grits, but that's a stereotype. But it's also rooted in fact that Southerners like grits and Yankees eat oatmeal. Exactly. Not every single Northerner, but it's a group characteristic. So
I just feel like being Irish and just I am the butt of the joke, no matter what.
Polish. Thank you very much.
I was going to say when I was growing up, it was the Polish that were the butt of the jokes, not the Irish.
Yep, Polish and Michigan. Yep.
Yeah.
So I would hear those jokes on the playground in middle school. I didn't even know what it was. Someone had explained to me that Pollack was a Polish person. I was like, okay.
We can't say Polak?
Well, I don't know.
Only if it's the name of a blonde girl.
Only.
Yeah,
I guess we need to go. It's over.
Yeah, we're going over.
Look, I made the whatever the bad guy time guys. They made their vehicle. Look. There it is.
Nice use of the skull.
Yeah, that's right. I can't find I've got a white one of those skulls. I can't find it though. So, all right. Anyway, you guys have a great night. Thank y'all for joining us. We'll see you on Thursday for Thursday Night Live. I don't know what we're talking about. We'll talk about something. Anyway, thank y'all for joining us. Have a great night. See you later. Goodbye.
Bye. Bye, Cam.